Yes. And Ben, we've got to get rid of. Excuse. Yes. And so now, Pierre, welcome. Gina
Hi.
B, welcome. Um, I guess I can tell you what happened. Usually this room gets opened early, but we had another meeting right before, which started very early today, and so I didn't check my email. And when I just looked at my email, Kim, our regular lead moderator, had to bail out at the last moment.
Gotcha.
So what that means is that I think Jennifer said she was going to lead. Frank is here. I can hear is here to lead. I don't know how come Jennifer came in and went out, but she's probably going to be back in a second. And some of our regular crew will be joining right now. So I know Pierre, you're new, and I
Yeah, I
know
am.
Gina is here because you're here. So God bless you, Gina, for supporting your brother.
Oh, that's
Um,
nice.
it's very nice. And here comes Jennifer. Are you
Hello, John.
staying with us this time?
I am. I was afraid I was early.
No, you weren't early. They were left over from before. I
Ah,
honestly don't even know because we had another meeting and I don't even know how they managed to stay involved. I just kicked them out. So, and I just saw Jennifer. We had a very long meeting today because we had a presentation beforehand, and I just looked at my email and I just saw the note from Kim. So I know what's going on.
we got it.
And you have
Yeah.
and you have two new people already, Pierre
Hi,
and
Hey,
Pierre.
his
hi, how are you?
and Gina, who is Pierre's brother, who called to
Sister.
ask me about sister, excuse me, who, Gina, Pierre's sister, who called to ask me about this group yesterday. And I
Correct.
told her that you're a bunch of very friendly people. Of course, at that time, I didn't know John was going to be on the call so early, but but and I think they trickle in slowly, and we didn't open the room that early today, but I think they'll all be back. So, and you're in the capable hands of Jennifer, who's going to lead today. And Pierre just got diagnosed, Jennifer.
All right. Excellent. Well, not excellent, but it's nice to be.
Well, what happened is I'm currently waiting to fully diagnostic as far as diagnosis with everything. I had a flare up, a ON, optical neuritis flare up, and when I went to the hospital, I couldn't see out of the my right eye.
Okay.
So from there, I had a MRI. The MRI at first didn't show anything, um, and then I had blood work and everything. It didn't show anything. Just my eye. I was couldn't see out of the eye. Then I got a call back from the hospital. Got a call back from the hospital 3 hours afterward, and they told me to come back. They saw that the optical nerve was inflamed.
Okay.
So,
Now, may
af-
I ask you, just, I don't know how much you talked with Rick, but do you mind if we record the meeting tonight?
no, I don't care. No.
Okay. And then if we record the meeting, can you, I don't want to not listen to your story, but I think your story has value to share with everybody. So we wait for just a second and then, is that cool?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. No
Okay.
problem.
So hi Andrea, hi Mike. We're
Hi,
gonna start
Jennifer.
we're gonna start recording. Okay, but I'm not an organizer.
Oh, I'll do that for you. And I'll
All
make you an
right.
organizer. Sorry.
No
I'm.
problem. Thanks, Rick.
Are we ready to start recording?
Yes.
Yes.
Pierre
Okay.
said yes, and I want to, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The recording is in progress.
So as I said previous to this, I
Hold on
said,
a second, Pierre.
oh,
We check in with everybody, and then we'll give you loads of time
oh,
to.
oh, cool. No problem. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. And let me make you an organizer and take it away, Jennifer.
All right. Do, 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 do.
No, you're good. It is recording.
Oh, okay. So now we're.
Hi, I'm so sorry. I'm such a jerk for always being late. I really was going to try to be on time. I'm sorry.
We're really just getting started, Carmen, so you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, started good yet.
And you're muted, Jennifer.
Hi, everyone.
Now I'm not muted. So
Yay!
we have some new people tonight. So I thought if we would go around and do introductions, and then we'll just see if anybody needs time, and then we'll start with Pierre. Does that sound cool? All
Hey, yes, yes.
Good.
right. So, John, do you want to introduce and say where you're from?
Yeah, my name's John Andrews, and I'm from Big Rapids, Michigan. I was diagnosed in 2016. I have relapsing remitting, and I'm on Zeposia. Um, and Jennifer, I'm going to need some time tonight.
All righty. Okay, and Andrea?
Yes. Hi, my name is Andrea. I guess I have relapsing, remitting, secondary progressive. I don't know. I'm on Ocrevus. I was diagnosed in 2012. I live in North Carolina, and I don't need time tonight, Jennifer. Thank you.
No problem. And I'll shoot over to you, Mike.
Thanks, Jennifer. My name is Mike. I live in Tubac, Arizona, down the street from Rick, and happy to be here. Uh, Always glad to see new faces. I do want to hear from Pierre about his loss of vision in his right eye. Same thing happened to me in 2002. I had relapsing remitting. Now it's progressive, and I don't see on my right eye, and it's all my optic nerve, very similar to what Pierre was saying. And so I look forward to hearing the rest of his story. And
Do, do you need time tonight?
I no, I don't. Thanks,
Okay.
Jennifer.
All right. And Frank, you're on mute as well.
Okay, I'm unmuted, and that's probably a problem. Uh, I'm from Kansas, and I was diagnosed in 1997. I have secondary progressive MS, and I am on absolutely nothing but sunshine. And I would like a little time to talk about some interesting stuff this evening.
All right. Excellent. And then I'll shoot over to Carmen. Carmen stepped away.
Hey, sorry. I was trying to get my headset to work, but I can't get it to work, so never mind. Hi, I'm Carmen from Canada. I'm in British Columbia. I have primary progressive MF. I was diagnosed in 2013 or 14. I don't even know anymore. I'm on Ocrevus. I've been on Ocrevus since 2017. It seemed to be doing the trick for a while, but it seems to not be doing anything for me for about the last, oh, well, couple. Anyway, my progression is getting worse, and I um I need some time tonight, please. I have,
All right. And now Pierre.
Hi,
Hi.
how you guys doing? So glad to meet everyone here. Want to hear everyone else's story and supportive of everything, and I'm here to learn as well, big time. So, I want to say it was mm, the 5th of the month when woke up. My eye was puffy at the bottom. It was watering, not like it was pink eye, anything other than just watering and puffy. Went outside that day, worked on a car, changed the battery, went to the car, went to the auto store, came back, ate dinner, said, okay, the eye's still kind of puffy. Woke up the next morning, I could only see from the bottom half of my eye. It seemed to be like a gray field over my eye. And I went to the ER, emergency room, and they didn't know what to do with the first emergency room I went to. That is like a smaller campus to the bigger campus. They took blood tests, they took just regular blood pressure and whatever. And they sent me down to the other ER. There I met a ophthalmologist was there. Um, he looked at me, looked at me and diagnosed me for a quick second. And he said he wanted an MRI.
Mm-hmm.
So I did the MRI right away. And when they did the MRI initially, they didn't see anything. Um, yeah, they didn't see anything when they did the MRI. So I went home. This was like 5 in the morning. I've been there since the morning and then went from one hospital to another. I went home and in 3 hours they called me back and said to come back. Someone else looked at the MRI and saw that the main vessel behind the eye was inflamed. So at that point, I went back to the ER, the main campus, and they uh, took a lot of blood, of course, and then they IV'd me the steroids for 3 days. Um, During that time, I'm trying to see if I did any other tests at that point. Okay, so the third day they were going to release me. They wanted to do a spinal tap, and for some reason, I got kicked off the list of the radiology room. And when I got kicked off of the list, I really wanted to know what was going on. So the doctor that was on the floor that would go around and check on the patients every so often, he said, "Well, we do this bedside as well." So I said, "Hey, let's get her done." So he tried to do it bedside and he missed. I'm not a fan of that spinal tap. I I, I took my daughter in 1990 when she was 6 months to get one, and that just threw me off. I wanted to knock the doctor out when he was doing it. So I've never been a fan of it, and I believe that's the origin of man. It's like if you dig into a tree and you want to find something, that's where you're gonna find it. I'm 55 years old, and
And whereabouts do you live, Pierre?
I live in Ohio. I live in Cleveland,
Okay.
Ohio.
All right. Uh, thank you.
Yes, I'm
And
55 years old, so I figure if you're gonna go in my spine, you're gonna find out the original man and how he's gonna die. Just my theory. Um, so yeah, the spinal tap didn't work, so that was the bedside. So they gave me an appointment for the next day, which was great because as I'm hearing stories now, it's like to get this done, it's like forever sometimes. So the next day I went, they tapped into my spine. They couldn't get the fluid out. Somebody came in was having a stroke. I had to get out of that room again. So couple days later, couple days later, couple days later, I was able to get it done. I want to get this paper if I can because I want to read what they found so I can say specific what they found.
okay,
1 second.
okay. And while Pierre's away, Gina, I didn't want to not say hello and welcome you to the group, but
Oh,
thanks
that's all
for
right.
joining. Okay. And
Yeah,
do
I'm
you,
just here to support my brother.
oh, well, that's awesome. And thank you. We appreciate that. And do you also live in Ohio?
No, I'm in New Jersey,
Okay.
in Montclair, New Jersey.
Nice. Well, thank you again for joining us. And if you have any questions, please feel free to talk away.
Okay, sounds
And
good.
there is a chat room in the room, and people will drop links to the stuff that we talk about usually. So
Oh,
be
Thank
sure
you,
to
thanks,
check
John.
that out.
John.
And it's good to meet all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Pierre. So, what did the doctors tell you?
Okay, so the blood work that was worked up, there was nothing out of the normal. Um,
Pierre, Pierre, is this your first indication that you have MS?
yes, sir.
Yeah, nothing. Okay,
Yes, sir.
cool. I'm
Um,
sorry.
what is it? Oligoclonal bands,
Yeah.
oligoclonal bands. I'm not a doctor, but I'm here. So oligoclonal bands present. I have two present, right? Um, they threw around also fluid brain and what is it, Guillain-Barré Bear
Yeah.
syndrome. Um, that was basically the basics. And also, they said I have some form of leakage uh, from the brain, they're
Oh,
saying.
Well,
Did they say anything about spots on your MRI other than the optic nerve? Did they do an MRI of your spine?
I have that coming Sunday.
okay.
Sunday. I also just, for some reason, my my doctor, my regular physician, had me do an ultrasound. Um, within the ultrasound, I have the literature which he gave me with that right here. Within that ultrasound,
What part of the body did they ultrasound?
this is carotid, the
Okay.
carotid area.
Okay.
Within that ultrasound, I don't know if she knew of this because they're in the same network, and she just emailed me today. So imagine that was the fifth, and then the 12th is when I got the spinal tap, and then right after that I got an ultrasound of the carotid vessels, right? So She told me her message to me. I'm trying to grab it. She said, they said mild. I don't know how to say this, but atherosclerotic plaque near verification. That's what they said.
Okay.
And she sent me an email saying that, like, not a worry. Like, I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute. What do you mean? She said your test show no blockages, some plaque buildup. We recommend to continue to take Lipitor, because I take Lipitor, and baby aspirin for further prevention.
Yeah.
This is what she said.
Well,
It
ju-
sounds to
Yes, Frank?
it sounds, what she's saying sounds perfectly normal for a 55-year-old man. I
Right.
mean, a little bit of hardening of the arteries, quote unquote, uh, not unusual. Uh, and what they said to do makes sense. And the thing about the leakage of the spinal fluid, having had a spinal tap one day and then another one the day after that, I can understand why that happens. I had one. I had one do the same thing. Had a headache for 10 days
Yeah, I
because of the
had
leak.
three.
Okay, I had a after the spinal tap. I had a headache for 10 days, uh, and it took that long for it to all go away. So nothing. It doesn't sound unusual at all. Not at all.
and and I was just going to say like what they were doing is probably ruling out a stroke and how much your risk how at risk you are for a stroke, right?
Right,
Or
Yeah.
right. But I'm still in the process. On Sunday, I go to see the neurologist on Friday. And then Sunday, I take that spinal MRI at the top of my neck. I'm thinking that's next.
Do
So
you have any multiple sclerosis in your family?
I have an aunt that passed back in the '80s, but
Okay.
on my dad's side, I'm not really specific to anyone else that may or
Pierre,
may
I
not.
may have missed this at the beginning, sorry, but has anyone talked to you about like have you been diagnosed or are you just sort of questioning all these symptoms and these things? Sorry, I missed.
Well, I'm questioning the symptoms, and also the neurologist mentioned it, the ophthalmologist mentioned it. So I'm just trying to do everything they tell me to
Hmm.
know.
have you ever
Yeah.
noticed anything like over your lifetime, anything strange like um weird vision things or dizziness or
Numbness.
numbness, anything like that?
The, the only thing is I'm diabetic, so diabetics go through a lot of different scenarios as well.
Mm,
So, and then the medication that you're on,
right.
you go
And then
through a
they
lot of differences. So, but I have not felt anything, significant. I haven't never felt any weaknesses of limbs or anything.
I think the optic neuritis is sort
Oh,
of a key pointer. Yeah,
As well as the
Yeah,
bands. I mean, you're positive for banding in your blood work, so you know.
right.
but the banding as
Yeah, the
well, that
spinal
doesn't
tap.
that doesn't that go with a lot of other things like
It
lupus
can.
and sclerosis, all kind of things. So it's
It
it's
can.
really it's really difficult to surmise
Yeah.
at this point. I want to get that last procedure with the neck. I want that. I'm so lucky to have been able to get these things done quickly because a
hmm
Hmm.
lot of people.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Pierre, make sure, is the neurologist you're working with an MS specialist?
This is
Pierre,
what I'm going to check on when I see the neurologist, because when I go back, the neurologist that was put on to me was straight from the ER. I never had a personal neurologist. So
Right.
that is one of my key factors in which I'm looking into. I need to know that this is going to be an MS neurologist that is fully, and they are all in the same network. There is no way that my doctor should not have known that I was in the hospital for this. Because when she emailed me back, she said, "What are you talking about, MS? Take the Lipitor, take this, take that." So they are in the same network, same hospital, same system. They should all be in accord. So I'm going to get them together on accord with this because it doesn't make sense to me.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
make
with
sure,
you, but they're never on accord.
right.
Say,
I'm
say,
I'm
say it
Make,
again.
also a bitter old woman, but you know,
You said
Andrea.
get what on accord? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you.
I said they're never on accord. They're
Oh,
never talking to each other or
that's crazy.
reading stuff or paying. They just, yeah, they're too busy, I guess.
But the bands again, the bands. I'm reading on the bands. I mean, you can never have too much knowledge. I get it, but
Mhm.
the bands relate to so many different things. The
Yeah.
bands also depends on how many you have. At two bands, you're less than three. Three bands is a marker. At two bands, you're less than three. So, to what I've read, especially with the McDonald law, the McDonald law is another thing completely as well, where I'm just trying to learn and be knowledgeable about everything. And,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
like
sure.
you're
you
way
said,
more up to date on everything than I feel that I
Yeah.
am, that's
I
for
think
sure.
that's great.
Yeah,
I feel like it took me 10 years to get to where you are.
Mm-hmm.
I I
Mm-hmm.
don't really know what you're talking about, but I mean,
no,
I
I come here to
do.
learn.
no, but the McDonald law. So the McDonald law, for what I surmise out of it, it was from back in the day. Before 2000, the McDonald law consisted of them having
Okay.
to find different, you'd have to have different flare ups, more than one flare up, in order
Yeah.
to consider it
Yeah.
MS. But now the McDonald law changed in 2000, where they're stating, hey, okay, if you have a flare up and you have an MRI and you have a spinal tap, and we used a conjunction of these three things, and you have two or more things, we can deem you MS.
There are a number of things, though, that they can also rule out. So they can do it with blood tests specific to your optic neuritis, right? So they want to check for neuromyelitis optica and I forget the other
I saw
one, but
that on there too on my charts, and that was
Mhm.
negative. That was
Good.
negative. The blood test again. You got the blood test. You got them looking for herpes, syphilis.
Yeah,
They're
they
looking for
took all
AIDS.
sorts
They're,
of blood. Yeah.
Yeah,
they're looking for
yeah.
everything to
Yeah.
say any type of
Vampires. They're vampires.
what is complex in the immune system to make it so. This is what they're looking at. I get that. So now we're looking in between antibiotics and steroids. Where are we? Where are we? Are we
Yeah.
Did
fighting
they
the
check your
disease or are we fighting
vitamin D and
inflammation?
vitamin B levels?
All
Hey,
everything is
can I?
cool.
I'm sorry, can I just interject? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Pierre, I really am sympathetic to your story, but it sounds like you've had a lot of testing, you've got some testing to come. We all here do have MS and our time
Understand
is a
you.
little bit limited. I'm just going to be very honest and I'm
Oh
sorry
no,
to be that
I
way.
understand you completely.
We're in full support, but I, right now
No,
you're sort of in the questioning, but you're
I
here to
just
kind of learn or whatever here.
yeah, I just want to know if anyone else started from where I started.
Oh, yes.
You you,
My
you
first,
understand?
my,
That's
my
all I was.
first
That's all. That
program.
was my whole explaining. That was it.
Cool.
Mm. Yeah.
So what
Go
did you
And
say,
ahead,
Frank?
Frank. Frank, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Pierre, it took me 15 years to get diagnosed. Okay.
Wow.
And I started with optic neuritis. That was my first symptom. And it took 15 years from that point for a doctor to tell me I had MS.
Hmm.
Just, it's, I mean, things
Did
are a
they put
lot.
you in a hot bathtub, Frank?
Say what?
Did they put you in a hot bathtub?
No, they did not.
See,
No,
they
it
could
was,
have diagnosed you so much faster.
Who is
hey,
talking about that? Where's that from, Andrea?
That's how they used to diagnose MS.
Yeah.
years
If,
ago.
yeah,
Crazy.
Really?
if they put you in a hot bathtub and your symptoms get worse, oh, you have MS.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah,
Temperature,
It's
it's a temperature thing.
Yeah.
yeah,
Let,
Oh
yeah.
God.
That's funny.
let's
That's me.
let's hear from from Mike, because Mike
Cool.
in his
Thank you, guys.
introduction.
Thank you, guys,
let,
for the floor. Appreciate it.
um,
Absolutely.
let's hear from Mike, because Mike in his introduction said that he he had a similar situation. Pierre, you can switch your camera on again.
Oh,
You don't have
no,
to
no,
be blind. We're happy to see you. But Mike, why don't you? Why you're muted right now? Unmute and tell us what your experience was from your
In,
optical
in,
neuritis.
in the late 80s, I went through a couple of attacks where I feel like a band around my waist and tightening and so on, um, and loss of coordination. But then it would go away, relapse, and remitting. And I wasn't diagnosed until 97, so it was a good 8 or 9 years. Intermittent um, attacks, and then I knew I was going to get MS, just a matter of when. And then my optic nerve died in my right eye. I'll never forget it. I woke up in a hotel room and I thought Peter Max had come the night before and painted everything. It's psychedelic. The colors were green and orange, and red, yellow. It was a super cool dream I was in, or reality wasn't so cool. But I knew
Yeah,
as
like
soon as
did
it happened.
someone slip you some acid or something, Mike? Like what
Yeah,
happened, hey?
very much like an acid trip,
Yeah.
and
Not that I've ever
and
had one.
uh, it finally went away. I called my a friend who's an ophthalmologist, and she said, "Get in here ASAP." And she hooked me up with a different neurologist, and he uh, focused on my neuritis, and so I was diagnosed in '97. This was in 2002. I had been on uh, one of the drugs for 5 years and kept having relapsing, remitting. Um, and then they took a blood test and said, "Oh, the drug you've been taking for 5 years, you may as well have been shooting up water because it had absolutely no effect. You have the antibody to that drug." And uh, so
wow.
I switched drugs, and I still haven't gotten eyesight back. But that's my story, Rick. Over 15 years. Uh, the end of the story was that I have MS and I lost an eye, um, and they could have checked. They could have checked for the antibodies before they put me on the drug, and they normally don't do that because it's a very expensive drug. Blood test.
Mm.
Anyway, that's all in the past. Here now. And Pierre,
Very,
I know
very informative
you,
on that.
Pierre, you got a long road to hoe here, and it'll find you. The good thing is you're aware of the MS and probably Guillain Barre and other conditions. Um, there's nobody here has ever said, "Oh, I, I went to the doctor. He said MS, and then next day put me on drugs." That doesn't happen, and so it's not unusual. What happened to you, although at your age, probably very small portion of the population gets their first uh, relapsing remitting attack at 55. You've been blessed thus far, but keep your eyes open, your eye, because there's more to come. And I
Yes, sir.
wish you very well. And
I
I like
appreciate that, Mike.
uh, keep
So, Pierre,
checking with us.
Pierre, I
Yes,
just
sir.
want to put in my 2 cents here because I'm not a, thank goodness, I'm not an MS peer. I run the groups. I run the, I run AnCan, and I sit in on a lot of the groups. And I've learned
Yes,
a huge, huge amount about MS through this group. And this is one of our most wonderful groups because they're knowledgeable, they're caring. Um, and one of the things that I've picked up is that MS is an enormously difficult condition to diagnose. And sadly, we don't seem to be able to diagnose it until it's gotten quite a long way down the road and it's really, really clear.
right.
And so to get an early diagnosis of MS is pretty amazing. But I've heard several people talk about this ocular neuritis that you're talking about, but the ocular neuritis can be down to a bunch of different things. I know this for a fact. I mean, TIAs, certain drugs. Um, I hear about it in different groups. That said, I think the advice that you're getting from this group
Yes,
is that one, try and see a neurologist who has a specialty in MS so that they can help you.
definite.
That golden, golden, golden advice. Um, I can't tell you about. If you ask me about prostate cancer, I could tell you the ins and the outs of everything. But and hopefully you know your PSA because a black man of 55 should know his PSA. If you don't, I'm going to get on your case about that. But that's it for another group. Okay. But that said, feel free, you and Gina, come back to this group, run stuff past the group. If you're hearing something from one of your docs that you don't understand that could be MS related, these guys are going to know. Kim Stroh, who usually leads this, but she just was not feeling good tonight, which sometimes happens in MS. She couldn't make it tonight. She's exceptionally knowledgeable. Jennifer's incredibly knowledgeable. Frank's incredibly knowledgeable. And Andrea, Carmen, they all have their experience. And the reason we have this group is just so that people who come in, they're not even sure. Yes, run it past us and we can go back and tell you what to take back to the doc. Because the one thing that's true across the board with all the ANCAN groups is you are your own best advocate. And we can't make you your own best advocate if you don't have the right questions to ask.
Gotta have the
That's
ammunition. Ammunition.
okay. Got to have the ammunition. Damn right. Okay, Miss Jennifer, back to
I, I,
you.
had- I had a question for you. I'm sorry. I had one
Go ahead.
question. The test of which they're testing next, the MRI, right? That is of the neck, right?
That's your whole brain and spinal.
Right. That one. Because I did MRI, full MRI and CAT. But so they want that specific. What are they actually looking for in that?
They're looking for sclerotic plaques. because MS is a disease where your immune system attacks your nervous system, the myelin around the coating around your nerves, and it does damage. And so they're looking for places where there are like little like plaques.
Gotcha.
It
And
looked
so
like white
that's what they're
spots
looking
on
at.
the
Like,
MRI.
yeah.
Hmm.
So
That,
yes.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
oh, of course. And I'm sure you're gonna have more questions, but it's
Yeah.
Yamila, right?
Yes, hi.
Hello.
Yamila, you are relatively newly diagnosed as well, correct?
Yes, I actually just got an MRI done. So,
Okay, Pierre has been, he's new to the group, and he has been, he's in that limbo place that you were in, where you have the first episode, and he hasn't gotten the conclusive diagnosis. So thought
okay.
maybe you two might have some things to talk about, or but then I wanted you to be able to introduce yourself to the group, and if you needed time to talk, let me know.
Okay, so hi, I'm Yamile. I'm from California. I actually just found out that I have remission MS remission. Um, and I was diagnosed 2021.
And do you need time to talk tonight?
Yeah, since I haven't seen you guys since last year, pretty much.
All right, excellent. So, okay, now I want to swing back to you, John. You said that you had some things you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for your time, Jennifer. So Pierre,
Hey, John.
eight
What's up,
years,
brother?
not too much, man. 8 years ago today,
Yes,
I
sir.
saw a doctor for the first time about my MS symptoms.
Oh, happy
Um,
anniversary.
yeah, yay! And my first test was an X-ray on my knee, and I was on the 29th. So like, happy second anniversary, for the first thing. But I looking in hindsight, my primary care knew that it was MS most likely because he started me on a lot of different medicines that I still take today. Um, and the only delay for me getting an MRI was just waiting to get in 5 months to see the neurologist. Um,
Hmm.
and the results were like, yeah, I've got those bruises, brain down my spine, they're all over. And my neuro said, okay, bad news is you definitely have multiple sclerosis. The good news is I'm not doing a spinal tap on you today. So I was saved from that. But I felt really lucky and fortunate that I was diagnosed within 6 months of onset of symptoms. So I'm glad that they're working on you really quickly to figure it out. Um, I just had loss of balance, severe weight loss, things of that nature. It wasn't anything blatant or blunt like a neuritis episode, you know. But yeah, so that's kind of one of the things where I was kind of thinking about talking to you guys today. It was a busy, busy day for me, and honestly, I didn't know if I was going to make it to AnCan tonight. And my wife Melissa said, "No, you need to go to that tonight because if you don't, you're going to be sad that you missed it because you got to talk about all the good stuff and all the bad stuff that's happened. Bad stuff,
Hmm.
minimal. Had a bladder control problem on Monday, and it sucked having to wake Melissa up to be like, "Hey, you're gonna have to go to the laundromat today." And it was her day off, and she's like, "Oh my gosh." So that was like a kind of a downer, but my depression didn't kick in, so I didn't start like spiraling around. Um, but in that regard,
Hmm.
I got my new wheelchair, guys.
Yay!
Yahoo!
Yeah, I've got the lightweight. It's orange,
Did
and
Perfect.
you name it yet?
well, I wanted to have a first name and last name, and then like a title, like
Wow.
Randy Macho Man Savage. But it's going to be like first name, the Tangerine Dream, last name because it's nice and orange, and I will be taking it out in public because I'm doing an MS walk this year.
Yay!
Nice.
It's my
Nice.
first
Nice.
one, and I told my PT about it, and she's like, "Yeah, just let us know if we can't get together donations, we'll definitely walk for you." I'm like, awesome. And my case manager for insurance was there, and she even said like, "Yeah, let me know. Like maybe we can sponsor your team, or at least I'll come and walk." So it was just like a really spontaneous thing that I feel really good about. Um,
Awesome.
so that's like kind of a win. And with my new wheelchair today, I went to the place to get adjustments. Because it's never right for the first week that you have it, and you find out what's wrong with it. So we raised some things, we moved some things. It feels so good now. Like it's so comfortable,
Awesome.
it's so good, but I'm not staying in it. You know what I mean? Like because last week at PT, um, I walked 10 feet with a walker.
Awesome.
Nice.
First time in a
Nice.
while.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
So, John, are
Yeah.
you like in and out of your chair? Is that what you mean? You're not staying in it, or you mean
Yeah,
long
like
term?
long term, like I am. I use it to get around the house,
Yeah.
but as soon as I can transfer out of it, I do.
Okay.
It's
Cool.
just
Exactly what I do. Yeah. I
yeah,
totally get it.
yeah, like I'm in my office chair right now, and I wish I was in my wheelchair because it's just comfortable because the feet are right underneath me and all that stuff. So that's really cool. That my chair is adjusted. PT's going well. I'm here tonight, and the big part, Pierre. Everyone knows here that I've been trying to get some upgrades on the house to be more accessible,
Right. Right.
and so we're signing with the contractor this week.
Yay!
Nice.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. They're the things that we liked best about them is they're local. They're not a place for like the other place was from an
Always
hour
bit different.
away, and they didn't really know when they would get stuff done because like, well, we have to make sure that our tile guy is available that day. Whereas the local people, their tile guy just works for them. He's not a
Awesome.
subcontractor, and also they're able to knock like $30,000 off the bid. So
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
we were making some changes. Instead of widening some doorways and knocking walls down, we're just putting in kind of a roundabout at the end of my hallway, which will get me to bathroom, bedroom, office. You know,
Nice.
places that I want to be. Um, so yeah, that's really good news. And Jennifer, when did we start the process of this? I felt like it was like last January.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's definitely been over a year. It's definitely been over a
Yeah.
year. So, it's just nice, like, when good things happen, they've happened kind of at once lately. And,
Yes.
that's what
That's
keeps
good.
us going,
That's
you know.
good.
That's
Um,
very good.
yeah. The mobility stuff,
Wow. Right. Right.
the
Right.
only
That's
stuff,
great.
the
That
only
helps
thing that I
everything.
forget on my new chair, there's inertia. So if I just push and let go, instead of stopping, I just keep going. So I like got to the bottom of the ramp and I just let go of the wheels and then I'm almost out into the road. Like, oh, okay,
Oops.
these wheels are very good and they're built to do what they're supposed to
So it's a
do.
manual chair, John? Sorry.
Yep. Yeah, it's a manual chair.
Oh, okay. I'm so
Because
confused. I'm so sorry. Okay.
oh no, no problem. I was using a rental
Ah,
chair while we were
yeah.
waiting for this chair to get done.
Okay.
So it's lighter for Melissa to put it in the back. I mean, it's molded right to my body.
Yeah.
Like
Awesome.
so many measurements, so many measurements. But I just feel good about having that. It feels really nice. It's taken me about a week to get used to it, which is sounds about right, you know. But I still take my power chair out for rides, which I mean will just happen more in the springtime as I want to zip around the neighborhood until I start taking my manual chair around the neighborhood. You know, the whole idea of having this new manual chair is for me to like save strength for things when I need it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
How was the
Yeah.
weather where you at, John?
Oh, today it
Today.
was
Awesome,
beautiful.
right?
Yeah, like
All of a sudden.
I was like a lizard in the sun. Like I just wanted to sit there, stay there, and bask. You know what I mean? Like it was just so beautiful. It was
Yeah,
70.
I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. And
Okay.
normally it's, Frio. It's
Yeah, yeah.
frigid over here, but
Yeah.
Um,
it's
I'm a
nice
little
to
bit
have.
north of Grand Rapids. What
Okay,
about you, Frank?
yeah,
Hey,
you're there.
John, it was 79 degrees here yesterday in western Kansas. It is
Mm.
26 degrees right now,
Oh,
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
and
79 to 26. Wow.
79 degrees yesterday. It's 26 degrees right now, and it's expected to go down to 12, and we're going to have an inch of snow. Welcome to
Oh,
Kansas.
oh
yeah.
my goodness.
God,
How
Frank, it
far,
sounds like you could say welcome to Canada. That's what's going on up here in places
how
too.
far are you from like Indiana and stuff like that?
From Indiana,
Hmm.
oh, probably 700, 800 miles.
Yeah, it's a good ways, but I was in Indiana, I want to say 2 months ago. I didn't realize Indiana got so cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Kansas, you don't, it's going to change every day. It's going to go from good to bad, and bad can be very bad. But
And I hear you have to watch out for tornadoes
yeah, they happen.
and little oompa men.
And blizzards.
Wow.
Why I like living in Michigan. No earthquakes, no volcanoes, no
Cold over
not
there.
many tornadoes. Cold, you can put a jacket on. Or you can just stay bundled up under 3 blankets on your couch. That's where I usually am.
And we're surrounded by water that doesn't have sharks in it.
I drive trucks, and I made a mistake in Michigan. I think Sterling, Michigan. I was trying to get to,
Yep. Yep.
and the next thing I know, I was talking to my friend on the phone. I'm like, "Hey, that's an Italian flag. I'm in Canada." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, I'm in Canada. I made a mistake." When I got on the other side of that border, they weren't so nice. Like America side, they were all full suit of black with guns, you know. And I'm coming from New York with a load on the truck of uh, these great big bags of seasoning. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. I'm like, did these guys put the right thing on the truck? Man, but yeah, it's cold over there though. It's a little cold over there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, John, do you have anything else or
No, I hope I don't feel like sometimes I feel like I'm bragging when I have like a lot of good news to report.
It's
But you
no?
know
good
what?
though.
I don't really talk to people that much.
We
Absolutely
love
not,
it,
John.
John. John,
We
we
want to
Yeah.
love it.
hear. Yeah.
We
And because you
love
guys
it,
get it.
man.
You guys
don't
get it
not
too.
feel like, I mean, brag to us all you can. We love bragging.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I have an article to post. It is about using nanoparticles of gold, and it is regrowing myelin. So
Okay.
I'm
Interesting.
going to go dig that up and
Okay.
post
So,
that.
Yes,
John,
please.
here's
Yes,
what I
please.
want you to do. I want you to send it to me, rd@ancan.org, and we'll put it in the reminder. Okay? I got to
Can
put it
do.
in the, if it's that good, we got to put it in the reminder so
Mhm.
everybody sees it. So, but send it to me and we'll move it on. Okay?
Also,
I'll put my email in the chat window for you. All right?
I
hey
got you.
Rick,
I got your email.
sorry, Rick, also, can you make sure that I'm on your list for getting the minutes and the link to the YouTube after? I got it once, but not again. Please.
For the you're on our, you may not.
Like after
I'll
meeting?
oh after meetings. Um. Okay. No, that but you get the reminders, right? You do get the
Yes.
reminders.
Yes, I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that after meeting, sometimes I put people in and sometimes I don't. So that's me, but I'll try and remember to put you in. Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
And I have
Hey,
a
Mike.
quick question for Pierre.
Yes,
Pierre,
sir.
you drive a truck. Do you
Yes,
ever
sir.
drive a truck down to pick up vegetables, fruit and vegetables in Nogales in Rio Rico on
No,
I-19? Okay.
no. I more stay in. So I'm in Ohio currently. So I do like a
Right.
little bit of the East. I'll do Pennsylvania, Washington, West Virginia, Virginia, North Carolina, South
Okay.
Carolina, New Jersey, Michigan, anything surrounding me.
Okay.
I like to take a piss and get home. If I had to piss, it could be right at home.
I just want to say, because I live just north of all of the fruit and veg warehouses in Rio Rico, and so
Okay.
I see trucks on the freeway right here coming from Ohio, Michigan,
Oh man.
all over the country. I was going to say, if you come down this way, man, you got to get off a couple of stops before Rio Rico and come over and have a drink with.
Man, that would be nice. But well, unfortunately, we've got, we're smiling. Like John said, we like to talk about the good, but it's been bad for me because for right now, everything is on halt, man. I'm not seeing right. If I don't see right, I'm not
Yeah,
driving,
yeah, got it.
you know.
Mike, Mike Pettipool, how long did it take you to sort of feel comfortable driving and see right from the time you had your optical neuritis? You're muted. You're muted. You got to unmute.
I woke up in a hotel in Chicago and I had to drive back to Washington, D.C. that very day and got on the turnpike. And when you lose one eye, your ability to see the
Depth
distances and
perception. Yeah.
yeah is very, very compromised. But your brain, um, here, will adjust and will compensate for the loss of one eye probably in a couple of weeks. Uh, in, in a lot of those terms.
It's crazy
Yes.
because the FMCSA, they don't want it like that anymore. They
Oh, I'm
said
sure they're very careful. Yeah, they're gonna,
they
yeah, definitely be
you have to
conservative.
have you have to
You don't
have
you don't want to back into a place where there's two guys sitting behind your truck because you can crush them.
right,
Uh,
right. You
Right.
don't want a problem. Right. Hey Mike, you said something earlier that caught me. Um You said when you first got diagnosed that they gave you some medicines that just weren't for you. And if they had taken the antibodies and figured out which antibodies you could work with, that would have helped you so greatly. That
Oh
was
yeah,
important to me. Thank you for that. I like to hear that. Thank you.
it, it's hard to know. Insurance companies will get in the way, and but it's good to ask your doctor, whoever prescribes whatever. You're fortunate now, Pierre. There's probably 20 drugs out there. When Frank and I were um, came diagnosed with MS, there were only two drugs, and and one of them was bad for me because I had antibodies. I didn't know
Right.
until it came out.
That's crazy. But these things you
Oh,
don't know, like anyone outside of this would not know that. They would not
Mhm.
right,
understand that. You know,
right.
that's important. That's important.
That's
Thank you.
that's a lot. Yeah. And certainly, yeah, I know you've probably looked at websites from the National MS Society. There's a wealth of information and
Hmm.
this group, and so there it can be overwhelming, but it's good just to talk with all of us, you know. So
Hmm.
and now I want to get over to Frank and what did you want to talk
Well, my first two city council meetings have been quite interesting.
about?
Uh, I made a proposal at my second city council meeting to live stream all our meetings and got defeated 3-2. And I was just shocked that nobody wanted everybody to see that on a live feed. It was just amazing. But it's not over. We'll be back. We'll do it again.
That was the council voting, or who was voting, Frank?
City council voting.
Oh,
Did they at least give a reason why?
Yeah, they think it's more important for everybody to come to the meetings and speak there rather than sit at home and watch it and talk.
oh.
Because
Are
because
you
they,
are you on the
well,
council, or do you want to be able to sit at home and watch it?
No, I'm on the city council.
Oh.
they defeated it, Frank, because people would know who's not there. Any councilman who's not on a meeting is not doing his job.
It's not over. There will be an article in the paper tomorrow that's a letter from to the editor from me and a
Oh,
couple of newspaper reporters that are also zinging people for taking that position. So we'll
Well,
see.
isn't it an accessibility issue?
Well, I think it is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, Frank.
mm-hmm.
Okay, run it past us. Go on. Go on.
Nope, nope. That's it. I want everybody to be able to see what's my attitude was the city council should be open, honest, and accountable. End of story, end of argument.
Oh, come on, Frank. We're all
Throw
in
some ADA at
suspenders now. We're
them.
all in suspenders. Come on, tell us what the item was, and we can have a quick vote on this right here.
I want the city council meetings online so that anybody can see them
Yeah.
as they're happening. It's that simple.
Oh my gosh! And you got voted down on that.
Yes, I did. Three to
That's
two.
wild.
For
Okay, so
shame on them.
here's what you do. At the bottom of the screen, there's a react, and in that react, you can put your hand up. I want to know who supports Frank. Let's put if you support Frank, put your hand up at the bottom of the screen. Unanimous, Frank. Unanimous.
And you know what? There'll be three articles in the paper tomorrow about it. and it's going to be pretty unanimous from everybody but the three members of the city council that voted no. They even got upset that we had called them out in public because they had voted no.
Are other people signing the letter to the editor with you, Frank, or is it just you?
No, 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 that's me. It's me.
Good on you, buddy.
We love you, Frank. Even though we know what party you're with, but even though we still love you, Frank.
I just had to pass that along. It's you know, my second meeting. What can I say? I get in trouble already.
You're my man.
Congratulations.
That's right. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Totally.
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. Good job, Frank.
yeah.
What else is going on?
Well, we want to swing over to Carmen and give her time to talk. I wasn't a waitress, Carmen, but I'll ask you when you have candy or gum or something. I'll wait.
Perfect timing, Jennifer. I know, exactly. My mouth was so dry, I had to put that candy in my mouth, but I knew I'd be up next. Anyway, hi. I'm so sorry. I have to lick my fingers now because it's like a really juicy candy. My favorite sugar-free Russell Stover fruit candies. You guys have those? They're so yummy. Mm. Anyway, um, I haven't been here for a few weeks, so I thought I'd just maybe update you guys and let you know what's happening. Not that there's anything big happening, but okay, so I don't even know where you guys might be. So we're needing to make a lot of decisions about where our future living arrangements are going to be. And um, my progression is just impacting me so much in this house, impacting both of us because I'm not driving anymore. So Andreas has to take me to appointments or I have to get rides, but mostly it's him. And yeah, I've had a few falls. I fell in the driveway. I almost couldn't get back up. It was awful. And then the next day I fell again. Can't even remember which one that was. Anyway, oh, at the chiropractic, at the, I was getting a scan and the woman was holding a stool and a rolling stool. So I was like, okay, I got to sit down here carefully. But I was wearing this new pair of pants and they were so slippery, I just slid right off that sucker, right onto the ground. So I scratched my back against this bench and oh man. So of course then there's the drama. Like, I mean, it was totally fine. It wasn't a huge distance to fall and I was laughing as I was sitting there, but you know, everyone else panics. They don't realize that like, hey, I've spent like maybe an eighth of the last year on the floor. So don't panic about it, man. I mean, not to be quite so trivial about some of my falls, they have not been as fun as that. But anyway, so the student that's working with her, he's kind of freaking out a little bit. I'm in a gown. That's the other thing. I'm wearing pants, but I'm wearing a gown because they're going to do a scan on my back. So my shirt's falling forward. This guy's getting a bit of a look. So she finally says, okay, maybe you should step out. I can't remember what his name was. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. He goes, comes, like, I get dressed again. She calls him back in and she's like, well, when I first fell, she said, should I get your husband? I said, no, I'd rather he doesn't know about this, please. But of course, they went and got him. So there he comes and he's so worried and I feel so bad. And oh man. And then that just, every time you fall, you lose face with your support partner because then they're more worried about you. I'm just like, ah, shit, it was just a stupid decision and a fatigue moment. But anyway, you guys know how it is when you have that fatigue and people just, I mean, he does get it, but like sometimes it's just so different. That's the messed up thing about MS is that every day is so different sometimes. Like your
Sometimes
symptoms
I
can be
don't
so
even
different.
get it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like some days I'm so tight I can hardly walk, and then well, I'll spend the next day and a half focusing on my massage gun and my big thumper, and then my wrist is so sore from holding this big ass machine, but I at least can walk. So then I can walk, but then I can't even hold on to the rollator because my wrist is so sore because I've just overdone it with the thumper machine. But Oh my God. Anyway, okay, so I'm sort of going off topic, but it's just so much unknown. And then coming back to like we don't know where to go to live. We don't know what to do with all of our stuff. Like we've got a half-acre property and a split level house. My husband has a shop. Like we've got all this stuff going on, and he's got like health challenges too, and can't really keep up with anything. So it's just a lot of uncertainty and unknowns right now, and it's a really challenging, shitty place to be, especially when you feel like every day is worse and worse. And I mean, it's not every single day is worse and worse, but I just feel like this last 2 years, I'm just watching my life just swirl down the drain. And I'm sorry to be like that with new people on the meeting. I haven't like I'm still optimistic about my life. I'm okay. It's just right now in the active, really loss portion of the symptoms because I've been fairly lucky up until now, and I have primary progressive MS. So I guess I just assumed that since I figured I had symptoms for so many years before I was diagnosed, that the progression would continue at that slow of a pace. And maybe it is, but I'm also aging. So I'm going to be 55 this spring, and I'm just calling it Freedom 55 because I've 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 just been so secretive about my MS, and lots of people don't even know that I have MS, and I left work without really being able to be fully honest about that because I was in such a mess. Anyway, I just have lots of turmoil about lots of different things right now, and it's shitty. So, on the good news side, I have a great chair, but it's a power chair, and that was my Christmas gift from my husband, and it has changed my life. Oh my God, thank God. I mean, I'm sad to be so dependent on it, and it's a double-edged sword because I do save energy using it, but then I'm not walking and not using those muscles and forcing myself to feel the spasticity so that I use the thumper and get my legs moving. So it's like this catch 22, but it at least I can, do stuff in my house and get from one end of the house to the other without worrying about falling over, actually. So, yeah. So that's it. But then to get out of the house, I have to get on a stair lift to get on and off another stair lift. Like I've got a split level entrance. So it's a short segment, then another segment. Then I get off that, I have to walk to the basement door. So that's a different rule later. Then I have to get through the doorway, step over the step, and get from the parking, like that door, out to the parking area. So it's like a lot of different transitions, a lot of different equipment, and it's just exhausting sometimes. It's just easier to stay home, quite honestly. And I am not that kind of person. Like I am an outgoing, social, I want to go do this and that and whatever, and I just can't anymore. And that's the loss. So there I am. This is where I am. If anyone wants to say anything, I'm open to hearing anything from y'all, whatever.
Thank you for your candid comments, Carmen. We all have days like that. It sounds like you have a whole bunch back to back, and everyone understands your dilemma. But I hope you can smile and laugh. Um, attitude. This is for Pierre as well.
Yes.
Attitude will take you wherever you need to go. Uh,
Yep.
no one in this MS group is a you know is defeated. Um, as long as you can push back somehow, the world accepts.
Yeah.
I'm
Thanks,
from
Mike.
Michigan, and I'm reminded of the T-shirts that were on sale around the Ohio State game. Michigan versus everybody.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The,
Yes,
the,
sir.
the one thing you got to remember, the one thing you got going for you, no matter what, is your attitude. That's the
Yep.
most important thing you got going for you.
And you guys are such good testament to that, always. And I so appreciate it, which is why I just keep coming back for more.
And
Hey,
Carmen,
hey, Carmen. I'm sorry. Hey,
oh,
Carmen.
Yeah,
You're from Canada.
that's correct.
So do you know that bridge I made the mistake and went over?
I'm from the West Coast. I am from the West
Okay.
Coast. So I'm in British Columbia, but
Yes.
so I'm not sure where you were.
So when you say West Coast, so I know Canada's very huge, right?
Yeah,
So
Vancouver, like Vancouver,
yes,
British
you're
Columbia.
yeah, you're the Cali side cut over.
Mm-hmm.
It's so
Mm-hmm.
huge because I'm from New Jersey. So of course right there in New York, they have a Canada cut right there
Yep.
near Connecticut. And then in Detroit side, they have a Canada. Canada is huge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
It's interesting, Pierre. I actually was a nanny and I lived in Connecticut, I lived in New Jersey, and I lived in New York for brief
Wow.
stints. State, like
Hmm.
Connecticut near the New York state. And so I've spent a couple of years, which is, I think, why I'm drawn back to all you guys, because I count myself as somewhat US. Well,
Right,
I just have some US heart, I guess.
right,
Except
right,
I'm so
right.
grateful I don't have to deal with your politics. Holy.
Oh no,
Oh,
that's not it.
we're not that much different,
Th- this
Carmen.
hat, this
Really.
hat,
Eh,
this hat I'm wearing, it's from the
Oh, the
company.
politics, yes. The
It's from the
people,
company.
no.
It's from the company that I work for. It's called
Mm.
USA Trucks. So that's their that's their logo. You know,
eh,
they're pretty much everywhere, but yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. But that other than that, my mom delivered babies in England. Yeah, that's where my mom was. She was midwife in
Cool.
England and came here, and so I just got family everywhere. Wherever I put my hat down, that's where I live at.
Cool. Yeah,
All right.
and that's like me. I've got some friends that are just like family too still. In fact, my best girlfriend lives in New York, New York.
Yeah, that's a fast place.
mm. Well, I'm sorry that it's happening so quick like that for you, Carmen. That's and just yeah, there's just yeah. Just know
Yeah,
that we're all thinking of you and
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and like Frank said, attitude is everything. Mike said it,
Mm-hmm.
that,
Yeah.
you know, and
And that's, yeah.
we're, we're with you.
Thanks. It's too bad that Karen isn't here today, so I'm just going to acknowledge her because she usually watches the recordings of this, but she's she's often commented about how we're going through a similar sort of journey, and I I kind of feel like that a little bit too now. But anyway, so just a call out to you, Karen.
Yeah.
But thanks, you guys. Like you always do remind me too of, no matter what you're all going through, your attitude. And I do actually, I mean, I just had this conversation with my husband last night. I was talking about positive thinking because he's the guy that, like, it, whatever possibly could go wrong usually does go wrong for him, but he plans for it. So I keep trying to tell him, like, you're putting that energy out there. You got to like plan for the positive and look
Mhm.
for the positive and manifest that versus putting energy into preparing for what you're worried is going to happen, because then that makes it happen. But I
Mm,
mean, that's not always true because random shit just happens and you don't put energy out for that. And if random shit
mm,
bad is going to happen, it happens to him. Sorry about my mouth. Anyway, so it's a little
Oh,
bit of a contrast. So I'm the person that's like the positive cheerleader kind of person. And he's the one looking out for all the possible problems, which can lead to a little bit of that once in
Friction.
a while, a little bit of
Friction.
Yeah.
friction. Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
So, Carmen, I do have some news for you. We have assembled a team of moderators,
Awesome.
um, one of whom is Mike Pettipool's wife, Vicky, and we hope to start in probably maybe in April. It depends when we can get by when we can get the training done. We hope to start a new care partners group for people with motor and neuro condition
Awesome.
diseases, a care partners group for people with
Yeah.
motor and neuro conditions.
Oh,
And
that's so good.
I had forgotten that Alexa, who's our main lady here at AnCan, her fiance has a motor situation. He's hemiplegic from a cancer, from an advanced um, cancer situation. So it dawned on me, and I said, "Oh my God, I can get Alexa to lead this group because she's living with somebody who has a motor situation." And she said, "Yes, of course she would." And so we've reached out to Vicky and a couple of other people, and we have to do the training. But I hope we'll have a group for partners, for care partners very soon for people with
Awesome.
motor and neuro
My hubby will
condition.
be happy to hear that, Rick. Thank you so much. That's great.
Okay. And let me just say, you have been a huge catalyst in making that happen.
Mm. Well, thank you. Where's your camera, Rick? Why are you off all night here? Are you going to
Oh,
say hello to us?
yeah, no, I'll put it on because I've been eating and drinking and what have you. So I don't like to
There.
put it
There's
on
your
when
face.
I'm eating and drinking um and I don't normally stay in the whole meeting, but I know that Jennifer and Frank may have needed some help tonight, so I stayed put. So that's why.
Yeah,
Great
Mila,
to see you
I
again.
don't want to exclude you. I know that you said you needed some time to talk. So, kind
Yeah,
of good things.
I just wanted to, I know the last time I joined, Rick, you had given me the information for ACT. So I did reach out. I left a couple voicemails. I still haven't heard back. Um,
Really
yeah,
interesting.
but I thankfully did, after like pushing and pushing, I was able to get an appointment with a neurologist. So I saw the neurologist on the 16th of January. And then I was able to get scheduled for an MRI because when I first got diagnosed, I only got an MRI scan of my brain, not my spine or my neck. So I was able to do that. I just did it this past Thursday. But I really have enjoyed because like my health hasn't been the best. And I've never had spine pain, but my spine's been hurting really bad. My mobility, I can move and everything because I like force myself to go to work because life kind of continues, so you kind of got to do what you have to do, right? But I can't sleep at night because laying down is painful. So it's been really hard. So I'm hoping that with the MRI and all, we can figure things out. And then I have to get some blood work, and then hopefully I'll be able to get back on Ocrevus and do that because I don't want to do like any like self injections because I'm just like traumatized from the first time I had to do it. So it seems like things are kind of on track so far. But it's just been like I got COVID at the start of February, which was like really rough. So I've just been like sick back to back, and my pains have been really bad. My numbness and tingling in my legs and my arms has gotten worse. Um, And yeah, so yeah, but that's more of my update. I'm just glad that I was able to do the MRI, and now I'm just like waiting to get on Ocrevus as soon as possible, to slow whatever my body is doing to me. So yeah.
So
We're happy to
I
see you
I
back.
I want to jump in first of all. I just sent you on the chat. Well, I see you're on the phone, so you may not see it, but that's okay. I can give it to you. I just
Oh,
sent you on the
I
chat
pulled it up.
an email, hannah@ancan.org. And I really want to encourage you to reach out to Hannah because
Okay.
Hannah Garrison, um, she she is technically one of our moderators in this group, but she teaches on the Tuesday night, so oftentimes she doesn't get home early enough. She does teach our art class, and she's an amazing art teacher, which Andrea will attest to, and Karen will attest to, and
Wholeheartedly.
and Hannah has been on Okravus for I think about 8 or 9 years. She also happens to be an Okravus ambassador, and I'm guessing she's around your age, but I don't want to go there because I don't want to insult anybody. And but um, she's Hispanic. She lives in San Antonio, and I think the two of you would really connect very, very well. So what I'd like to encourage you to do is reach out to Hannah, tell her Rick said I need to talk to you. Make a time. You can use this room. Hannah knows how to use the room, or you can call her up on the phone. But she's going to be a really terrific resource for you, not just about all of these symptoms that you're feeling right now, but also about Ocrevus and using Ocrevus and everything else. So that would be, I mean, that's take to the bank information. You'll love
Yeah.
her.
Thank
She's the best.
you.
If you don't know who she is, you can go to our website and you can click on one of the videos for the art class and you'll see her in action. Right, Andrea? Am I right?
You are right, for sure.
Awesome.
Wholeheartedly
I will email
agree.
her.
Yeah. And Mike's been in the art class. I'm not sure who else has been here. I know Mike has been in the art class, but she's a qualified art teacher. That's what she went to school for. And then she got MS when she was about 24, I think, or 25, and she's been living with MS for like 8 years. And she has some conditions even with her hands right now, so she can't do everything she used to be able to do. But she's an amazing art teacher. She gets fantastic things. Plus, she understands MS inside out.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So someone else wanted to speak, and I jumped in. Who somebody else wanted to speak when I jumped in. Who else wanted to say something to
I
Yamir?
feel like it was me, but I was just saying, like, here, yeah, I agree. I something along those lines. Like, I don't think I had anything big and bright. Oh, I know what it was. I was just saying, yay, I'm happy you're here. That's what it was. I'm super glad that you came back.
Yes,
Yep.
I kept trying to come, and I've been like so scatterbrained, like my memory has been so bad, that each time I was like, wait, and then I wasn't getting the reminders, so I kept going back to like sign out to try to get the reminders, and then my brain was just, and then I almost missed today, and I was like, no, no, no. So I was like, I can't miss another week. So,
That's
because
happened to
it's
me
been helpful.
multiple times. I have to
Oh,
set alarms to remind me to come.
yeah,
Yes.
Mhm.
totally.
So,
And Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I keep missing, or the very beginning, I kept signing into the prostate group. Rick had to boot me out a couple times, like, hi, Carmen, next week.
I'm sure that you are. I'm pretty certain that you're signed up. I'm just checking right now. It may be that we finish up in your
I feel like I've signed
spam.
up for that email list like multiple times, Rick, and I've never received anything. I think I gave up trying to sign up for it.
No, I know. Look, I'm right here right now, and I'm gonna check. So first of all, I have to let me check and make sure that you guys are signed up. Um, all right. Uh, let's see here. You see, a lot of times what happens is that we get spammed. So you have to whitelist us. Um, the other thing is, Yamil, please put your email address in the chat, and I'll verify that
Or just
you're
send it
there.
to Rick.
Yeah, or send it to me if you don't want it to go to everybody. And I will check to see. Okay, here's Andrea. Andrea, did you say you don't think you're getting, was it you?
Yeah, that
No,
was
it was
me,
me.
and I don't think
Oh,
I am. Hopefully that went only to you.
Yeah, I've got it. Well, I will um so the answer is
what was the question?
the question is are you getting, and yes, they're being sent to you. So you may
Okay.
have to whitemail at ancan.org. We might be in your, you might find us in your
Spam folder.
uh
Yeah.
in your the spam file. And
Okay.
Yamil,
Hold on.
I'm sure we put you in, but I'm
Okay.
checking right now to see if we put you in.
Okay.
So okay, so let's
And
see.
I'm speaking purely from a selfish perspective of us Eastern time folk. It is
But
10
you have to.
o'clock and I'm turning into a pumpkin. So it's been lovely. It's been lovely to see you, Yamila and Carmen and Andrea, and of course Mike and Frank. And it's so nice to meet you, Pierre and Gina. Thank you for being an
Nice to meet you
awesome
guys. You guys are a
Me
wonderful
too.
caregiver.
bunch of people.
Thanks,
And
Jennifer.
and I have Pierre, if you want to get your email address to us here at AnCan, we can send you an announcement about the next meeting, or if you ever want
Yeah,
to
sure.
reach
We
out to
have it.
any,
We're
you
good,
have.
Jennifer. We have it.
Okay.
Yeah, we have it.
And
Yeah,
our
we're
next meeting will be March 12th.
March the 12th.
Uh,
Cool.
yeah,
See you
and
then.
I have a quick question. Rick, you mentioned there's a men's group on the 7th. I wanted to
yes.
know, is it the same link that we have, or what can we do?
Um, is it the same link? Yes, it's in
Okay.
exactly the same link as this room. Oh, look,
Okay.
Louis just came in. Oh
I
my
know
gosh.
Louie's here, and I'm getting ready to follow
All right,
Jen
well,
out the door.
we're excusing Jennifer. Jennifer, you can leave, but we have to say hello to Louis.
All right.
Okay?
Hi,
Hi, Louie.
Louie.
Good night. Good night,
Good
Hi.
Andrea.
night. Good
Hello,
night.
Bye,
Good night.
Louie.
Bye, Andrea.
Nice
Bye.
meeting
Hi,
how
you.
are
Bye,
Jen. It's nice
you?
to see
everyone.
you.
How you doing, Louis?
Oh, good. It was nice to see y'all.
Oh, Louis.
It's nice to
Thank
see
you.
you. We're
Yeah.
just about to go home.
I know. I'm sorry I'm late.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We have been shouting Hannah's praises.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Nice, nice.
because we feel that Yamil should get in touch with Hannah as soon as possible.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I love her classes. It's been a while since I've been in one, but they're definitely fun. Yeah.
But
Does it,
you
Yamil, do
you
you live near where Hannah is? Is that what it, Rick, did I miss something there? Or are you just
yes.
referring to her class?
No.
They're both from
Louis,
San.
Oh,
you
awesome.
Louis, go ahead. Don't you know you know Hannah from I don't know where.
Um, from, let's see. I don't even know how I know her. I think from a Facebook group. So I met her through I think a San Antonio MS group, and then she introduced me to y'all, to AnCan. And
Right.
so yeah. So so yeah, so we have a pretty good uh community here. And actually I was in another Zoom earlier with the local MS society too, for here for San Antonio. We're getting ready for the like planning the bike MS in the fall. So yeah. So we have a
Oh,
good community here. Yeah.
I just,
okay.
Cool. Cool.
Rick, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm Pierre's sister, but I can't
Yes.
thank you guys enough. I did my research and found you, so I can't thank all of you enough for accepting me this evening. And it's yeah, it's late for me. I'm getting late. I'm going to have to drop off, but I wanted to say
Okay.
again, and I will
Gina,
remind my brother that the seventh is
Thank
a
Gina,
min.
you're always welcome to come back as a care partner. We love having care partners in this group, and
Yeah,
we'll keep you posted when we get the care partner group going. Thank you for
sure.
coming, and thank you for towing your brother in here because he's been a great addition. And Pierre, we hope you come back.
Yes, sir. I will. I will definitely. I appreciate you guys. You guys are so
Pierre,
informative. You guys, hello? Can you hear me?
just yeah, a
Yeah.
quick question. You're not a vet by any chance, are you?
No, sir.
Okay.
No,
Okay,
sir.
because we do have a vets group as well, but I just wanted to check.
No, sir. No,
Uh,
Hey,
sir. But
well, once
Rick,
again, good night, everyone.
good night,
Good night.
Gina.
All
Good night.
right. Good night, Eric. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
all right. Hey, Rick,
Yes, Mike.
do you mind if I ask anyone here about Prevagen for memory?
Of course not. That's what we're here for.
Does anyone have experience with Prevagen or any of those kind of supplements? No?
No,
No.
Have you
Sorry.
started it, Mike? Are you thinking about it? I don't have
Well,
any
my
experience.
my memory is slipping. That is a fact. And my doctors at Mayo say those kind of supplements are ain't nothing proven. Don't
Yeah.
waste your money on it. And but you can't help but hear all the advertising. And someone whose memory is not getting worse, and they've been taking Prevagen, they seem to endorse everybody taking. And I don't want to take something just to follow the crowd. Um,
But if there's a
and of
chance that
course,
it could help you,
yeah, that's what I'm
I,
asking.
I've heard good,
yeah.
I've heard good reports on it. But I don't know anybody that's done it.
I take various supplements, and you know what? I always just figure, okay, I'm gonna try this, and if it feels, if I feel like it's making an improvement of, and I guess maybe also researching eventually too and finding out, okay, long term, this is helping this. But I think anything is worth trying, you know, with reason. I mean, not just, you know, some quack on the corner selling licorice to whatever licorice. Anyway,
Uh,
sorry.
there are many flavors of licorice, Carmen.
There sure are.
You may have
Don't
runs the whole
wax lyrics.
rainbow.
I personally like the black licorice that has the anise flavor, but
No,
Ugh,
oh, you
yeah.
don't like that?
Oh,
No,
I
heck
sir.
no.
I
Just
remember
saying.
when we used to go Halloween trick or treating, we used to throw those out.
Yeah, that's like Zambuca. Do you guys have Zambuca down there? Shots?
oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Ugh.
I love that. I love that taste. I bet your meal likes that taste.
No.
No? Oh, oh, because I put a lot, because anise is in a lot of Hispanic cooking.
Yeah,
I
no,
have
I
I
don't
have I
like
have a
it.
question for you guys.
Yes.
Um, with the with the neuroptic problems that I'm going through right now, um, do you guys anybody recommend compression? That's one, or eye patch two. Which one would be? None of them.
I
I,
can't.
I don't see
Yeah,
what benefit either one of those. But you tell us in a couple of weeks how how you are then, and we'll keep an eye out your for your opinion.
Yeah. Also, that this procedure, I'm going to be at you guys in a minute because when I get that procedure done this week, I'm going to have questions. It is what it is. You know.
here when
Then
when when I went through the optic neuritis, my depth perception, I went colorblind, but in 6 months it was all back to normal. So it's don't believe that it's necessarily permanent. It's that
Yeah, same with
that
mine. It came back in like about 6 months, 6 to 8 months. My vision ended up coming back full, like same as it was before. It
cool.
was scary though, but it came
It
back.
is. It is scary. I started when I first encountered. I started seeing things like it was as if I was looking into my brain at one point. Like I was seeing like my brain. It was crazy. It was just crazy. I can't explain it. But
Yeah, Pierre, if you
yes.
have any questions this week about the procedure,
Hmm.
send a note to Kim at ancan.org. I just sent that to you on the chat.
Okay. Okay.
Kim usually leads the group, but she wasn't feeling well tonight. She's really knowledgeable, and she'll be able to just tell her you were new to the group this week and ask her, and she'll get right back to you. And I'm sure if you give her your telephone number, she'll call you,
Cool.
and she'll do a great job in supporting you on that.
Cool. Cool.
Okay, Kim at ancan.org.
Cool.
All right.
Rick and everybody,
Everyone,
I'll
have a
see
good
you next.
night.
have a
Yeah,
good one.
thank you.
Yeah, have a good one.
Good night, everybody.
All right. You
Good.
guys have a wonderful night and a blessed tomorrow.
Mm.
Thank you
Thank
for letting
you.
me join. Thank you for
You
letting me
Thanks.
too.
join.
And
You
Carmen,
too.
be in touch tomorrow. I'm happy to
Okay.
help you.
And like I said, Louis, I didn't hear from you, but good to see you, brother. We'll talk soon, okay?
Hey, you
Have a
too.
good
I
one.
hope it, your what little I heard sounds pretty familiar, so I hope your eyes are, okay. And
Yeah.
mine cleared up too. So I hope that, you know,
I
like they
appreciate
said,
that,
to
Lou.
just hang in there. It took a long
Fa-
time for me. So,
Faith, I still, even though things go bad, faith is everything. You guys
mm,
have a good night. All
you
right?
too.
Good
Mm,
night.
Bye bye.
Bye.